everybody, it's Angela here, and today's Friday and I'm so excited because we're going to start our sunflower journal project, which I'm thrilled about. It's something a little bit different for me. I have never done one of these before, but you know, every day is a school day, and so we're going to do this together. So I hope that you're going to follow along. I've put together a load of stuff here that I've gathered. And I'm hoping that you'll go and have a look around the house and in your craft area to gather the something similar. And I'm sure you've got things along these lines. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at that. So as you know, first of all, we're going to use the sunflower kit. So I've got the journal pages here. I haven't folded them yet because I need to print on the back of them. And my printer is playing up, because I did a big Mac update, and that was last week, and as you know, ever since then, well, I got that sorted, but my printer has now started to play up. But that's just today. My son will be over here in a minute, bless his heart, and sort it out for me. Oh my gosh, if you've got a Mac and you have to do the big Sur, think about doing that before you've got to do anything important, because it's turned my life upside down. I wish I never did it. Right, enough moaning now. I'm going to talk about the journal pages themselves. Let's start with that, and then you know what you need to do and how you need to put them in the order that I'm going to do it. This is just if you're following along with me, of course. But I do get a lot of questions about this, so that's why I'm taking it slowly and showing you one by one so you know what to do. Now, I've got my journal pages in the order that I'm going to use them. So the first thing I would recommend is to print out the design papers themselves, the ones that have the florals on like this. And I think there were 10 of them. So print those ones out first. And then you can print on the back of those afterwards. All right, so that means putting them back in a different order possibly, and then printing on the other side. All right, failing that, if you don't do printing on the other side, you can take your strong tea or coffee solution, use a brush and brush it onto the backs of these pages. I have done that before and it works really well. I just want to see if I've got that actual example here. So this was a printed page, and on this side I've actually brushed on strong tea on the other side of that. I didn't iron this. I have put it underneath a book, and it's perfectly flat. So it stayed underneath heavy set pile of books in a pile with some other pages, and it worked out really well. So you don't have to print on the other side. All right, so that's up to you. So I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so let's have a look quickly here. This is going to be the first page in my signature, and in this journal I am just going to have the one signature. It's going to be a fair size signature though. I think it's about 14 pages, sheets of paper. All right, so here's the first page. That's the first one I've decided to go with. And on the other side of that, because I haven't done it yet, I've just mocked it up here. I'm going to put this backing sheet on the back of that page. All right, so that's what I'm going to print on the other side like that. So that's going to be my first page. The next one then is going to be a sheet of tea stained paper. So tea stained paper, that will follow thereafter. Then I'm going to use this page, and on the other side of that I'm going to put this paper. All right, so you've got the one with the clock there, and on the reverse of that you're going to print this. All right, so that's that one. Then we've got this gorgeous page. I do love this page. And on the other side of that I will be printing one of my doily pages, okay, because they're nice and neutral, and I do like to bring a little feminine touch in with everything. So on the other side of that page it will be that doily page like that. Then we'll have a sheet like this with the basket, and on the other side of that I will be printing the green check gingham page. All right, so that will be the next one. And then we will go with this page with the 2 ink splotches there. And on the other side of that, I'm going to print my digital tea stained page on there. All right, so it's the ink spot page with the digital tea on the back. So that's what I'm doing there. Then I've got this one with a crate, and on the other side of that I've got the blue gingham check page. So that crate with the blue checked on the back. Then I'm adding another tea stained sheet of paper like that. So that's tea stained. And then on the other side of that we've got this page here. So that's the next one. On the back of that page it'll be the aqua backing sheet like that. And then we've got this page here. I love that one, lovely to write in. And on the back of this one we will then have another one of these lacy pages. Need to break it up with some neutral bits here and there. All right, we've got this page then, and on the other side of that we're going to do the yellow check sheet. Okay, then I'm going to use a digital, you can use a normal sheet of paper, but what I've done here is I've made this digital because I've got a printed version on the back, which is our middle page. So that's our middle spread. So I just printed a digital tea stain page there. Again, as I said, you could paint that, you don't have to make it digital. All right, so that's the middle then of our signature. So those are all the pages that we will have to put into our signature. Here and there I might add in an envelope or whatever, but at this point this is what I've got, so that's the order I will be doing those in. And then I've just gathered here a couple of pages. I couldn't find anything with sunflowers with what I had, so I've just gathered a couple of vintage pages from books that I do have that are the colors go with them. So it's the whites, the greens, the yellows. So I think I've got this one. This is from my ABC Florals. This is an Edith Holden page. So it's also just a single sheet. I'm going to do something with that. And then I've got this page, which is, for the life of me, I don't have the book, but it's quite a wide page, like that. And I had this given to me by somebody. So I'm going to use that one as well. So you just need a couple of vintage pages. We'll slot those in as we see fit. All right, so that's the pages that you're going to need and the order that I'll be using those in. I'm going to just put those to the side quickly. You've got your add-on kit. I'm going to go and cut all of this out. I usually print on the underside of my envelopes with the lacy page that I showed you. But anything that you have, even the gold font stuff that I gave you in the Facebook group would work really well in this as well. So anything neutral on the back here, I will cut all of this out. So that's what you need to do as well. That's got all your tags, your mini envelopes and things in there. So cut those all out. Then I'm going to use the ephemera pack as well. And I will cut out all of the ephemera that go with this kit as well. So that's another job to do. And then what I've done is I've got a couple of bits and pieces that I will be using, and I'm just showing you because these questions come up all the time. So I have taken my skeleton leaves, dies, and I've cut out some skeleton leaves in two greens, a darker one and a lighter one, that go with the kit really. So I've just had a look and from the green bits that I have, and just cut those out from cardstock. All right, so it's just cardstock that I've had, and then I've used my wildflower dies, and I've cut out, because I quite like these, although they're not sunflowers really. I just like the yellow. There's this one, these dies, and just a couple of my usual die cuts that I like to use. And then I've also taken some of the sort of greenery as well, where I've got the leaves. So similar kind of thing in lights and darks, some of the lavender bits and things that I will use as well. All right, so I do like my die cuts, as you know. Then I will be taking all my sunflower sentiments, which you saw me have, and I will be cutting out all of those as well. I usually keep them all in here when I'm working, and that way it's easily accessible when I'm creating. I have got some washi tape that I haven't bought any washi tape. This is washi tape I've had for a long time, so just picking up on colors that we're working with the aquas, the yellows, the whites, the greens, that kind of thing. So these are just ones that I've had for a while. And then I've gone through my buttons, the vintage buttons, picked up any of the greens, the little yellows, the darker yellow, the lighter yellow, the greens, and even a few of the aqua sort of blues as well. So those are things that I'm going to use as well. So just go and gather all these things and have them ready. That's what I do when I'm getting started. All right, so that's all on that side. So I'll put that to the side. Then on this side, I know someone will ask me, I've got bundled sage. It's one that I had called Distress Oxide. You can go and have a look and see whatever it is that you're going to use. When I'm stenciling, I'll probably use this. I do think I've got a yellow one, but I'll probably use this and my antique, what's it called now, antique linen. So these are the other two that I have here, the two that I use all the time. So I'll use my Distress Oxide, my vintage photo, and my antique linen, and I've got a distress one, but this is almost finished. All right, so those are the ones that I'll probably use. I have got one I used before in a bee journal, a yellow one, but I must just go and have a look and see where that one is. But I'd probably use those three before I use the yellow. All right, then you saw me post in my Facebook group. I got my lovely order from Vanessa from Plum Boutique, and she sent me all my ribbons and laces. Some of these, this is one I had already. I had this before for a daisy journal, so I've gone and pulled out what I had, but I've got loads more that I've bought. So I've just pulled out a whole pile of those lace pieces and all sorts. I love this, and I might end up using this as the closure. So I'm just having a little think about that. So those are just, go and have a look at what you have with your lace. Obviously the neutral colors as well, which I will bring into this as well. So those are what I'm going to be using as trims. So those are going to go in there. Now, as far as those die cuts were concerned, I've used the skeleton leaves. You'll find this along with this one, which I've just shown you from here. And there's another one. They are on my Amazon favorites list. If you're wanting to see what numbers they actually are, or any of those details, they are on the Amazon favorite list that I have. And you can see I have them for the UK, the US, Canada, Germany, and Australia. Go and have a look there if you're wanting to see what it is that I use. All right, so those are most of the things that I'm going to use. I've just got another thing I want to show you quickly, and then we're going to do a little quick project. I've gone and gathered out of my fabric stash some of the fabric that I'm going to use. So whether this is tabs, ruffles, flips, or anything like that, I managed to find a nice aqua bit, a nice lime green color with some white. And then I've just found some gingham. I've used this before in another project. And then I've got the yellow as well. So just a couple of bits that are going to go with the project that I'm working with. You know, I like things to sort of match. So I go and look and see what I have, and I'll pull out bits and pieces. You don't need a lot of fabric for anything that we're going to do here. It's just really scraps and bits and pieces. So go and have a look what you have. And if you don't have anything, go and have a look at items of clothing that you're no longer using. You know, sometimes we can pick off trim or ribbon or even the fabric itself and use that as well. So go and have a look for that. I like to put everything in here, as you know. So I put this whole lot of stuff. It fits my papers perfectly. It fits my fabric and everything. I wouldn't put the fabric in here, but I just am keeping it all together. The whole lot goes in here. I'm going to just put that to the side. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I've actually pulled out one of my Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. This is the Edith Holden book cover. It's just the cover. I've used all the pages in here. If you've got one of these, go and grab it. I'm going to be using this for my journal. It's going to be slightly wider here for the actual pages itself, but that is not going to worry me, because with the tabs I'm going to put on, I'm quite happy for that to be a little bit wider. Of course, if you're wanting it narrow, you can trim the ends off, but as far as a piece of paper is concerned, it's the perfect size for what I'm going to be using. So if I just grab a sheet of paper here, I'll just fold this in half and you can see what I mean. Alright, I always put mine right on the edge there. If you see it like that, you'll see it's got ample space there. As I said, it's a little bit wide here. I would probably have it there, but because I'm going to stick tabs on, fabric tabs, they will come out a fair way, so I'm not too worried. When you move that up like that, you've got everything in, you know, it's fine for me. But of course, if you don't want that extra bit there, you can take your craft knife and cut off the width that you want, so that's fine. And this is going to be fine. Any book cover is going to do that you have, so go and use it. It's just something that I wanted to do for a while with the book covers that I've been collecting. I will show you how to trim out and make it neat like this, and I will be covering this book cover. All right, so probably in a gingham fabric or something like that. So that's what we're going to use. All right, and it's just another way that we can explore how to make a journal in a repurposed cover that you probably have loads of them lying around. Okay, so if you don't, go to a charity shop or a landfill place, all the damaged books that nobody wants to buy, go and see if you can pick up one there, or ask them and they'll go look at the back, because they don't put broken books out often. You normally have to ask for them. So just go and see. Don't go and ruin a new book or something, but go and see what you can pick up for nothing. As long as it's going to fit your pages in, that's all that's important. All right, so that's what I'm going to be doing with this project. I'm going to just put that to the side there. I have got a little freebie sheet. If you are in my Facebook group, I've put this together. It's got a couple of stamps. It's got some butterflies that I like to use, some sunflowers for fussy cutting. So this is in my Facebook group, and I will be using this in my journal making project as well. So there's that. Okay. And then of course, very last but not least, I just wanted to show you how I was going to make the tabs today. So I did promise that I would show everybody how to make the little tabs. The tabs, if I grab my journal from the other day, these that I made for my journal pages. So I am going to use the same thing in the sunflower one. So I just wanted to have a little share with you how I did that. You don't need a sewing machine. You need a needle and thread and a bit of glue. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm just going to get it ready here. So that's ready to go. And I've got these little bits of fabric. So I'm just going to take about a few of them, so 3 or 4. I've cut these already. I'm going to tell you how I did this to measure. So they are 2.5 inches in width and 2 inches, in length, and 2 inches in width. And if I give that to you in centimeters, you are looking at 6.5 centimeters in length, and I think it's 5 or 5.5 in width. So that's what I've made. Sometimes I trim it, but this is the starting point for me for these. And you can make more than 4. You can make 8 or as many as you want. I'm just going to show you different things that I did with these. All right, so the first thing I did was is I took my glue and I just very gently put a little bit of glue onto one half of this fabric, I just want to fold it back in half like that. So I've just put glue just very lightly there, because the fabric is very thin and you don't want the glue to become to ooze through. So that's what I did first of all. I did that and did it to each and every one of these. I just want to make sure that's the right side. So this fabric's slightly thicker, but still I'm going to be quite mindful of the fact that the glue might seep through, and I don't want that. So yeah, we're going to do that for all 4 of these, and that's easily sorted. I hope you've had a great week. I can't believe how quick the weeks are going. I'm not complaining. Got one more week of college and then it's half-term break, but I'm working the whole week. So that's not great, is it? So we'll see how things go. Right. So we've got one more to do. I love the gingham. I couldn't resist using the gingham in this project. I think it gives it such a homespun feel. So really love it. Okay, so there we go. I've got glue on there, and then fold that over. Now what we've got to remember is that the folded edge is the edge that you're going to have on the edge of your page. So I'm just making sure that I get that right, like that. Okay, and then what I did was I took little bits of ribbon and lace as I found it, and I just cut 2 pieces for each one that I wanted to decorate. So for example, if I was wanting to put the yellow on the gingham, I'd have one for the front like that, slightly longer than it needs to be, and I'd have one for the back. All right, now the one at the back I sometimes stuck on after I've sewn buttons, so I just put 2 of them on here at a time. So I'm just having a think of which ones I want to use. I think on this one I'm going to use the cream. You know, you can, I've even got this ribbon with the little flowers on that's really cute as well. I think for this one I'm going to put a bit of gingham on the blue, or maybe on the green. We'll put the gingham on the green and we'll put this on the blue. It doesn't cover up all the blue, so that's what I'm going to do, like that. Okay, right, so those are the ones I'm going to do for today. So again, what we want to do is take your glue and again carefully just put some glue on all over the lace, not too thick though, and this will stick down. So this one's pretty easy to do, can't go wrong with that. And then when you stick it down, get it, remember you need to have a certain amount where you're going to stick that onto the page. So I tend to sort of edge this towards the fold line. This is our fold line. This is the bit that you'd want to stick on the page itself. So there's one. All right, so that one's easy. This one, again, I'm going to put some glue on here, not too much, get it more to the sides than the middle, because I want to stitch on this one. So by hand, again, I'm going to edge it to the one side here. I do. So I think it just adds character to it. It gives all the details. I love the details. And then this one, I'm going to put this ribbon down. Right, we'll keep those for the not so distant future. Right, just doing a little bit of a trimming job now that that's dry, and the side as well. Okay, So sorry for that. Right, so now it's not a hard task to do this. It's a case of finding a few buttons and things that you might want to sew on here. So with this one, let's have a little think. I wasn't really going to sew a button on there. I think I would prefer to sew some buttons on here, and in fact probably greener ones. So let's have a look here. No, I think I'm going to go with my mother of pearl ones, which I tend to use a lot of, and I think that those would work a lot better and just sort of bring some neutral shades into what we're doing. So I think 2 are enough, really. I think that would work well. And then on this side I might bring a different kind of a button. So maybe, let's see, do I want to use a little teal one? Yeah, I quite like that. A little teal one there, like that, and maybe a little green one as well. Maybe, wrong green. No, I think I'll just go with a little teal one there, like that. And that one I'm going to put some cross stitch on, I think. I prefer that one. Okay, so we're going to do that, I think. Alright, so now it's pretty easy. What I tend to do is grab my embroidery needle. Well, it's not an embroidery needle, that's not the one I wanted. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so it's just got a smallish eye but pointy. I'm just going to grab some of my embroidery thread. So I've got them all wound here. Let's see if I've got one that I'll probably end up going with cream after all this. So let's have a little think. I think I will just go with cream. So I'm just going to take some cream thread here. I spent a couple of nights winding these onto the bobbin. It was quite an experience and addictive at the same time. So we'll just get that stuck back there. Right. And then I don't need to tell you how to do this, but just take half the threads. I think I've got 3 there. Yeah, I do. Get that sorted and show you afterwards. Right, so I'm going to just sew these buttons on, and I'll see you back here, guys, as soon as I've done that. Okay, so we're back again, and as you can see, I've just sewn on a little button there and those 2 over there like that. So what I'm going to do now is I can now cover up that stitching there. So I stick the lace on the back. You can sew a button to this lace if you want. I don't tend to do that. I just tend to do one on the front, and then I stick the other piece of lace on the back. So that's going to be the right side, and I need to keep it more towards the left on this occasion. So just getting that more over to the left hand side there, like that. Just move that a little bit more over. There we go. Right, so I'll cut that off when it's dry. And then the same with this. You can sew 2 buttons on there if you want, but I won't be doing that. I'm going to just stick it over the stitch marks there. So glue on again, and then if I move that to the side, I've just got that lined up nicely there. Now I just leave these to dry overnight before I attach them the last time, and that worked well for me, really. They come together perfectly. So we've got 2 finished there. We've got this one, we just need to stick the other side on. So I'm just mindful of which side's which. So, oops. And then we can just stick that straight down like that. Give it a little press. Right, there we go. So we got the third one done. And now I'm just going to do the last one. Now with this one I like to do a little bit of cross stitch, and it's easy on the gingham because you can see the little squares. Okay, so I've just got embroidery thread on here, and I'm just going to come out. Now let's just think now. This side here, this is the side that's open. So I'm going to just come out at the top corner there. Like that. No, one down. So at that square there, like that. Okay, give it a little pull. And then I'm going to go 2 across and 2 up. So this can go straight through because we'll be covering it with ribbon. And then at the bottom there again. So I hope you can see this. That'll come out there, and then 2 across, 2 up there, and we'll do that all the way down. Okay, so now at this point I'm going to go at the bottom again, and instead of going across that way, we're going to go back into the holes that we made on the other side there and come out at the bottom and do the reverse. So we'll just give it a cross that way. Okay guys, so I have eventually done the cross stitch there. So there you can see it's not the straightest, but I was having cramp in my finger halfway through. So what I'm going to do is now I've just threaded the thread through. As you can see, I cut it off there, and I want to just stick that over that area there so that the back of my tab is going to look nice and neat at least. So again, just put some glue on like this. There we go. And just wipe this off my mat, and then we can stick that close to this edge here. So I'm just checking because this is the folded edge. So there we go, and we have that nice and aligned. Okay, so I just want to give it a nice little trim there and a nice little trim there just to finish that off so we don't see any of the stitching, and you've got your nice little cross stitch bit over there. So that's that. Yeah, so they go like that. Okay, so there I've just done 4 little ones quickly with you. Very easy project, very simple. You could go and make 8 of those easily. You could sew some other buttons or beads or sequins or whatever it is that you have. I might end up going and sewing a little button or something else on there. Who knows? Beads, you know, whatever I come across. Okay, guys, so go and grab all your goodies together. Give this a go. If you wanted to make these for your autumn journal, go right ahead. You've seen the images of what I've done, so you can easily do this now. It's really an easy project. Go and get all your bits and pieces together. Go look around the house. Don't necessarily go and get something new if you can use what you have around the house. I always want to encourage that. And be prepared, because our next little video will most definitely be making a little project to go into our sunflower journal. All right, so thank you so much for spending time with me today, following along here. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Have a great weekend, everybody, and don't forget your homework. Bye bye.